when one attains the Supreme Lord, there is no everybody, he will grace each one accordingly, you know. Like you should know, Lord Shiva is so dear to Lord Krishna. You see, human beings like to separate, you know, saying Thai white is best, the devotee of Shiva says Thai white is better, devotee of Krishna said we are better, devotee of Devi said we are best. Like that, religion also, each religion are fighting between each another because they think that they are best. So, like you said, let's say I have great love for Lord Shiva. I don't have any discrimination towards Lord Shiva or Devi. Those who have discrimination towards Lord Shiva, they are not even worthy to worship Lord Krishna. You know, in Jiva Goswami Sandarbha, he said, you know, those who criticize Lord Shiva is not worthy to worship Lord Krishna. As knowing that devotion which Lord Shiva have for Krishna and the devotion which Krishna he also have for Lord Shiva, it's amazing. That relationship that these two share, it's amazing, really. You know, look at that devotion which Lord Shiva have for Lord Krishna when they did the Ras itself, you know. No one was allowed, no man was allowed in the Ras. But yet, when the Maharaj came, Lord Shiva had this pull, said, hey, I have to go. Do you think Bhagavan Krishna didn't know about that? He knew about it. He came in disguise as a gopi. And of course Lord Krishna wanted to dance with him only. Even being disguised, they dance merrily. Yeah. Who will comprehend that relationship which Bhagavan have with his devotee, you know, and the devotee have with his Supreme Lord? We see the different onto the outside, you know, like you said, you know, you have great love for Lord Shiva. You know, nobody have stopped you of having this devotion to Lord Shiva. Like Krishna said, you know, the devotee of my devotee is dearest to me, you know. In the Vaishnava tradition, we consider Lord Shiva the greatest devotee of the Lord himself. He's constantly meditating upon, even in Shiv Puran himself, you see. Lord Shiva himself said to Parvati, when Parvati asked Lord Shiva, on whom are you meditating? You, which is the Lord of the free world, you know, on whom are you meditating? And Lord Shiva said, you know, I'm meditating upon the Supreme Lord himself, which is dearest to me, which is, I'm meditating upon Ram. So, even in Shiv Puran himself, Lord Shiva said, I'm meditating upon the Supreme Lord, you know, Ram. So, when Ram is sitting and meditating, look, when he built the bridge, on whom he meditated, on whom did he pray? He prayed to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, the Lord of the Gunas, now, the Lord of this material world, the Purusha of this world, this reality. Through his blessing only that one can transcend this reality. Without his blessing, one can't. One is trapped into delusion. You know, Maya is represented as Mahadevi, you know. So who is next to her? Mahadevi? Is Shiva. So, even in Shiv Puran himself, Lord Shiva said, I'm meditating upon the Supreme Lord, Ram. So, when Ram is sitting and meditating, look, when he built the bridge, on whom he meditated, on whom did he pray? He prayed to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, the Lord of the Gunas, now, the Lord of this material world, the Purusha of this world, this reality. Through his blessing only that one can transcend this reality. Without his blessing, one can't. One is trapped into delusion. You know, Maya is represented as Mahadevi, you know. So who is next to Mahadevi? Is Shiva. So only when one have that blessing of Lord Shiva, one can really have great devotion to Lord Krishna, to Srimad Narayana. So don't have this misconception, you know, or having this, oh, only one is greater. No, it is not. Because this relationship that Bhagavan have with his devotee is supreme, you know. The devotion which Lord Shiva have for Krishna is amazing. The devotion which Krishna even have for Lord Shiva is amazing. That's why you see when we look at Panduranga, Vitthal, for example, you know, have you ever noticed on his head what there is? Very often people ask, you know, why, you know, Panduranga's tilak is different. You know, there is a round and a black dot. You know, very often people have asked. If you look clearly what it is, actually it is Krishna's best friend. It is Lord Shiva himself. It is the yoni and the ling, looking from the top, which symbolize creation. I hold creation, I hold him dear to me. When Lord Krishna was going to look for Rukmini, it is said that he didn't want to go alone. Because you see, when your wife is angry, I don't think you would like so much to face your angry wife by yourself. So Krishna asked Lord Shiva to accompany him. He said, Prabhu, I'm going to look for Rukmini, but I don't want to go alone. It's not because he is scared of Rukmini. You know, this is his Leela. You see, when you go somewhere, you can do a journey alone, or you can do a journey with a friend. So he asked Lord Shiva, come, please come with me, accompany me. And Lord Shiva happily agreed, because this is a different Leela that he's going to enact there. So he wanted to be part of it. That's why when you look at the deity of Panduranga, the top also is the Shivaling. There was a bhakta, a devotee of Lord Shiva, called Narhari Sonar. So this devotee of Lord Shiva, he lived in Pandharpur. And he was such a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva that from childhood he had taken a vow that he will never ever look at even the temple of Panduranga. He would not even look at the flag of Panduranga. So whenever he will come out from his house, he will cover his face and look the opposite way. Such was his devotion to Lord Shiva. He said that he don't want to look at Krishna. So one day there was a rich merchant, and he wanted to make a belt for Vithala. And he was looking everywhere for a jeweler. And there was no one. And so the people told him to go to Narhari Sonar, he's a jeweler. Then when he went there, Narhari Sonar said, no way, I will not make anything for that one. So then he said, please, please, he begged him. He said, okay, fine. You measure the waist and I will make it. So finally he accepted. So when he made it, according to the measurement, when they place that belt on Vithala, it was too short. So they brought it back And he again rectified it. You know, said, okay, it's too short. So they added. This time it was too long. So then they beg Narahari, please, you know, we have been trying to measure it, it's not possible. Can you please come and measure it yourself? Narahari said, no way I'm coming there. Do whatever you want. My life can go. I will not put my feet in that temple. That was his devotion to Lord Shiva. So finally, they convinced him. They said, okay, fine. But with one condition. He will be blindfolded completely. Even his face will be masked completely, but he don't breathe the air from Panduranga. Yeah. So they took him by the hand and brought him in the temple. And in the temple, of course, he took the belt and he was measuring. And as he was measuring, his hand, of course, when you measure, you have to measure around. He will feel that it is not Vitthal which was standing, it was a Shivalinga which was there. And he was wondering, why does this God look like my God? Why does this Krishna look like a Shivling? So he was touching everywhere, it was round, and he was confused. What he did? He removed the blindfold. And when he removed the blindfold, to his amazement, in front of him was Panduranga standing. Vitthal was standing. He said, not possible. This is not what I was touching. Again, he put the blindfold. Again, when he put the blindfold and he touched, it was a Shiva. How is this possible? Again, he removed the blindfold. Again, Vitthal was standing in front of him. Like that, he come to the realization that it is the same Supreme Lord, you know. He realized that there is no difference between the Bhakta and the Beloved. There is no difference between Lord Shiva and Krishna. And most of the time, you see, this misconception is only in the mind of fanatic people. You know, when people become so fanatic, they lose the capacity of thinking. They lose the capacity even in seeing what Bhagwan himself has said. You know, how dear is Lord Shiva to me. So, just love, you know, and knows what the Lord himself represented and what is their relationship together. And don't make this don't have this as a make human fight, thinking that they are also fighting. You know, they are not fighting. They don't have any problem with each other. It is human that have problem with each other.